All right, everybody, welcome back. We are diving deep today.
Into
Into a really, really fascinating topic.
Yeah.
This is all about how Canada is handling violations from those folks who help people immigrate to Canada.
Yeah. The paid representatives?
Yeah, paid immigration reps. You know, the whole process can be so complex.
Right.
I mean, I've heard stories.
Oh, yeah.
It's confusing. There's a lot of paperwork. It can be overwhelming.
It's intimidating, for sure.
So a lot of folks turn to these paid reps to kind of help them through it.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we've got our hands on a government document outlining some proposed changes
Oh, cool.
to how Canada is going to deal with those reps who break the rules.
Interesting.
So that's what we're diving deep into.
Awesome.
Whether you've used a rep or just want to kind of understand how this whole system's evolving,
Yeah.
this is the place to be.
Let's get into it.
So what's the big headline here? What's changing?
Well, I think the biggest thing is Canada's really trying to crack down on fraud. You know, they want to make sure the immigration process is fair
Makes sense.
and, secure for everyone
Yeah, absolutely.
because it's such such a crucial system for the country.
Yeah, so how are they doing that? Like what's actually in these proposed changes?
Well, one of the biggest changes is they're putting in place much stricter rules
Okay.
for paid representatives who break the rules.
Okay, so we're talking about authorized reps here, right?
Actually, it's even more than that.
Got it.
It's not just the authorized ones.
Uh-huh.
These rules apply to anyone offering paid immigration advice,
Oh, wow.
even if they're not officially recognized.
So they're kind of like casting a wider net.
Exactly. They're trying to catch everybody who might be operating in this space.
So that's interesting because I think a lot of people might assume this is just about, the official folks,
Right.
but it's broader than that.
Absolutely, because, there are a lot of people out there who might be taking advantage of vulnerable applicants who don't know the system.
That's a good point.
So they're trying to level the playing field a little bit.
And to kind of put some teeth behind these rules, there are some pretty hefty fines being proposed.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking some serious cash here.
Up to $1.5 million.
$1.5 million.
That's serious.
Yeah, that is not messing around.
Yeah.
That's a big jump from what it used to be.
Yeah, they're not messing around anymore.
So if you were one of these reps and you're thinking about cutting corners,
Think again.
yeah, think again. You might find yourself in some hot water.
A lot of hot water.
Yeah, and it's not just the fines either.
Right.
They're also planning to make these violations public.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're going to be posting details about the offenses,
Okay.
the fine amount, and even whether it's been paid.
Okay.
All that information will be available on their website.
That's some transparency.
Yeah, for anyone to see.
So basically public shaming.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely a way to hold these reps accountable.
absolutely.
And I imagine it's going to make people think twice about who they hire.
Yeah, if you're looking for an immigration representative,
Yeah.
you're going to want to do your research and check that website.
For sure, right?
Make sure they've got a clean record.
Yeah, because, you're entrusting them with really important stuff.
Huge life decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So you want to make sure they're, legitimate and trustworthy.
And not going to take your money and run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all this together, the stricter rules, the big fines, the public accountability,
Right.
it's all aimed at holding these representatives accountable.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, protecting the people trying to immigrate to Canada.
Yeah, making sure they're not taken advantage of.
Right, because the whole system's built on trust, right?
Right.
You're trusting these representatives to guide you through a really complex process.
Especially when you're vulnerable. You're in a new country. You don't know the rules.
Right, exactly. So it's good to see that Canada is taking steps to, beef up the safeguards.
Yeah, make it a safer system.
Now, I know some people might be thinking, what if a representative feels like they've been penalized unfairly?
That's a good question.
Like, what happens then?
Well, they thought of that too.
Okay.
They're actually creating a new role specifically to handle appeals.
Okay, so there's like a process in place.
There's a system of checks and balances.
Yeah,
So this new reviewer will be responsible for looking at appeals
gotcha.
from representatives who feel like they've been treated unfairly.
So it's not just like a one-and-done situation.
You have options.
There's an opportunity to appeal.
Exactly. And this position will be open to people all across Canada.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so they're trying to get a diverse range of perspectives.
Okay, so it's not just like one person in one office making all the decisions.
No, they want to make sure it's a fair and balanced process.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up, I did want to mention something pretty cool.
Okay.
These draft regulations, they're actually open for public feedback.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before they're officially implemented in 2025.
So they're actually listening to people.
Yeah, they want to hear what Canadians think about these changes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you've got strong feelings about this stuff,
Get involved.
yeah, head over to the website.
Make your voice heard.
Exactly. You can actually have a say in shaping the final outcome.
It's like a real democracy.
Kind of, yeah. It's great to see that they're taking that approach.
It's refreshing.
So to sum it all up, Canada's really stepping up its efforts to make its immigration system more transparent and accountable,
For sure.
and to crack down on fraud, which, ultimately benefits everyone.
It protects the system and protects the people.
Exactly. But as with any big changes like this, there are always some questions that come up.
Of course.
Like, do you think these regulations strike the right balance between protecting applicants and ensuring fair treatment for representatives?
That's a good question.
What do you think?
It's tough to say, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Right.
To have more transparency and accountability. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out in practice.
Yeah, what about unintended consequences? Like,
Yeah.
is there a chance that these changes could have some unexpected downsides?
Well, it's always a possibility with any big policy shift.
Yeah.
Maybe some smaller firms can't handle the increased costs.
Right, because those fines are pretty hefty.
Yeah, exactly. So it's possible that it could drive some people out of business
Right.
or make it harder for new people to enter the field.
Yeah, it's definitely something to think about.
It's complex.
Yeah, it
A
is.
lot of moving parts.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up.
Okay.
It's been a fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Me too. And I hope our listeners did as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So to all those folks out there who are interested in Canadian immigration,
Keep learning.
keep learning, keep exploring. And as always,
Stay curious.
we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.